Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to July 19th commission meeting. We'll go ahead and get this thing started now. I would like to ask Commissioner Roberts to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Joe, you weren't here last month. You want to lead us in our prayer today?
Sure. Lord, we ask you that you would please, Lord, to take each and every one of us and lead and guide and direct us. Lord, give us the knowledge and give us commission and give this agency the knowledge to do what you would have done for the fisheries and for the estuary of the Gulf of Mexico. Lord, we thank you for everything, and we just ask that you take us, lead and guide and direct us. That's in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Director. All right. Minutes for June 21st. Do we have any discussion on those minutes? We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. Joe, do we have some changes to today's agenda?
Yes, sir. I'd recommend that we do two things. Number one, we need to add an election of officers, and we can do that at this point and just put it at, I guess it would be, I don't know, it's supposed to be A3, but we can have an election of officers, and we need to do that. And then we also need to add under Marine Patrol, need to add a no wake zone.
Okay. So,
And we can do election of officers at the end if you want to. If you want to just put it at the very end, that way it wouldn't mess up the schedule. How about that?
all right, we'll do that.
We just put it at other business. How
Other
about
business.
That? All right.
That'll work. We'll do that as M1. Let's see. All right. So with the changes, do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. It's all yours, Director.
All right. Once again, summertime's here. We're having a good time. It's been beautiful weather so far. We've had some good fishing going on, and a lot of people have enjoyed themselves. Only biggest problem, we've had a $5 a gallon for fuel. It's hard to go out and have too much fun. But we're working on a couple of things. Just to give you right off the bat is our contracts as far as employments and contracts. Can you pull that up? The first three on there, Lambert, Reed, and Ross, Nadine, they were all people that they were working with us before under contract. And because we have a new law and falling at it's a situation under Obamacare. And Obamacare says that if you work over a certain amount of hours, and I'm not going to try to say exactly what it is because every time I look at it, it's something different. But anyway, long story short, if it's over X amount of hours as a part-time person, we have to offer them insurance of some type. Well, to do that, the state would have to pay for a lot of money to do it. And so what we're doing now is we're trying to find people full-time jobs. And they were working under contract under full-time. And so we just were able to find some state full-time jobs for them. So those are three have been with us, but moving forward. We got two new hires. Cameron Keys and Haley Nason, and they're being law enforcement. We also have some promotions. Christina Broussard has been promoted to the Seafood Technology Bureau Director. Sierra Ortez has been promoted to NRS 3, and Jason Ryder has been promoted to Shellfish Bureau Director. So we did pretty good, and we also got to bring everyone up to minimum at least, and on July the 1st. It's called SEC Squared, and SEC Squared is a new program that the state has for its personnel and how we pay them, and so we're able to bring everybody up to at least a minimum of what they, and which was some people not very much or anything at all, but some people it was a good raise to be able to do it, and we're working on other raises that we're talking now, and to be able to get some people back up to where we're trying to get them. There's a thing called market, and that's what they say that basically what the market is for the state of Mississippi and for people working in this type fields, and we're trying to get people to that point. That's our goal, and it's going to take us a little while. You can't do it overnight, and so we're working hard on it. And I don't think we had any new contracts, right? No. Okay. As far as anything else for the agency update, let me go over here and get Crystal's notes here. Gulf Council, we'll have a Gulf Council appointment. We have a new one, and it was Leanne Broussard had been our appointee for the last 8 years or so, or 9 years, I think she'd been on it. And now we had to put a new person because she could not be on there anymore. And Michael McDermott, I don't know if you know Michael, but Michael is a local attorney here, and he's an avid fisherman. And he's going to be a great asset, I believe, to the commission, and he'll be on our Gulf Council Commission. He'll be one of the three, myself, him, and Dale Diaz, representing the state of Mississippi. And, of course, Rick Burris backs me up. We got an auction, and it's going on. I tell you what, pandemic, if nothing else, it gave us time to get a lot of stuff together. And, we got an auction of a bunch of old equipment and other stuff that's going up at Lyman. And matter of fact, today and yesterday and today, and I think tomorrow, is that right, Patrick? From there is a if you want to go see it, it's in the middle of the day from 9 to 3, and so you can go up there and look at it. We got all kinds of equipment. There's everything from a weed eater to a boat or truck or anything else that's up there for sale. And we're going to do silent auction with that. Basically, when I say it's a bid, it's a sealed bid. And you have to ask, put your name in. So we'll close that on the 8th. Is that right, Patrick? August 9th. Okay, so it'll close on August the 9th. We have a thing now called derelict vessels. The legislature put in a legislation this past year. We had derelict vessel before, but it was limited to certain way to where we could only touch it if it was impeding a waterway or it was leaking some type of fuel or something, or oil or whatever. Now they have given us the permission to move anything that's in the waterway system. So what we're doing now, and we have the funds to do it, and we're going out and we're working with them, and we're taking anybody who knows where there's a derelict vessel or something and you want to have it removed or see if we can get it removed. What we'll do is we will take that, we'll go look at it, we'll take pictures of it. We asked you if you could take pictures of it and send it to us and we'll fill out a form. And it's online. You can go online to a DMR website and be able to figure out how to fill it out, whatever we need to do, or either you can make a phone call. But we want to get these derelict vessels out of the water. And it's amazing. Since we started this and had the authority, a lot of people are moving them. Because when we told them they're going to have to pay for it, if we move them, they're getting a different opinion on it now. So far, we hadn't had to move that many of them, only a few of them. And some of them are working with us, and some that's been there for years that they hadn't done anything about it. They're working with us to be able to get the stuff moved. We're not trying to hurt anyone. We're not trying to take anyone's vessel. We want to get them out of the water when they're derelict. And if they're causing problem, and you got to think about it. If it's across from your house and you live on the bay or something, and they got 4 or 5 boats that are sunk in front of you, it doesn't look very well. And plus, it's just not good. We want to get them out of there. We're going to give you an opportunity to do it yourself. If you don't want to do it, we'll do it ourselves, and then we'll give you an opportunity to pay it back. So it's a way to do it, but we want to make it work. And so far, we have made tremendous strides with that, and I appreciate the team working hard on it. Neshoba County Fair. If you hadn't been there, you ought to go. It is amazing. It's the last week of this month that we'll be there, and we have a thing called Coast Day, and it'll be on the 28th day of July, and that's where they give us the whole morning, and that's from 8 o'clock till noon, that we have where the area there in Neshoba County where all the political speeches are made and all that, they let us have that whole area of the Gulf Coast. And we go in and you can put up your tents, and you can put your tents there, and you can, little pop-up tents, and you can give away anything in the world you want to. to sell your agency, to sell your business, to sell anything that you have about South Mississippi. Now, it cannot be a casino and it cannot be alcohol. We can't do those two. That's the only two things that they won't let us do up there. But if you have a business like charter boats or anything else, if y'all, want to go up there, the city of Gulfport is going to allow, they're doing something different this year because it's always been a trouble getting your tents and all there. So if you'll bring them to them by Monday, this next Monday, they will take them, and from 8 to 4 in Gulfport, they will take them, put them in a trailer. They're going to take them to the show before you. They will bring them to the fairgrounds. They will help you unload it and put it up, and then they will help you load it back up and put it back in there and take it back home for you the next day. So it's a no-brainer. If you want to do it, this is a great time. And we right now we have about 30 different companies that are going to be there from South Mississippi, and we would enjoy having everyone there that can come. And the night before, we have what we call a red clay and sand mixer. And that is a situation, basically it's a coast, and we invite people to come there, and we'll have about 500 that we will feed seafood that night. And we're trying to sell our seafood products. We're trying to sell the product to tell everyone across the state of Mississippi and everywhere else, it's Mississippi seafood is some of the best in the world and still great. And we want people to know that. And so how do you do it? You go out there and you go to them. You don't ask them to come to you. You go to them first. And so we're going to them and trying to find places across the state to do that. And we're selling our product as the seafood for South Mississippi. And we want people more than anything to eat fresh, grown South Mississippi seafood. We want them to eat the food that's coming out of our Gulf and not out of some other country. So we want you to understand how great it is, and this is the way that we do it. So if you're interested, let me know. We'll be able to help you any way we can. Let's see. I hope I'm about out of stuff here. All right. USDA processors. If you're not aware of that, we have a program now. We have little $1.5 million, and that's in there for the processors to help pay back for the pandemic and where you had to buy extra equipment or whatever it is to operate your business. It's out now. It closes, when did it, Tracy? The 16th of August it closes. So we need you to get there and put your paperwork in and see who applies. Right now we have one person that is qualified, right? One company. So we need to get some other people out there to looking at it and be able to get your processors. You had to be a seafood processor, right? And there's a lot of ways of saying where you're a processor, but you had to be a processor and have that license, I believe. Is that correct? Okay. So make sure you get out and do what you need to do there. Bonnie Carey hadn't had any update. Rick, we're still trying to get that through. We sent some stuff back to Noah, so let's hope that we'll get that soon and work on it. Actions update, Sandy.
Following motions, the permit variance and use plan change for DEQ for the Living Shoreline Extension in Hancock County, and the changes to Title 22, Part 18 for special permits was forwarded to the Secretary of State's office for final adoption. And we had 3 saltwater finfish records: conventional tackle blackberry rosefish by John Wright, all tackle was Big Eye by Harley Havard, and unicorn tilefish by Brandon Powell. And that's it.
Okay. Any questions on those?
No, sir.
Okay. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else that we're gonna have a. I was looking for something that just popped up in my head. Hang on one second. No, well, I'll figure it out in a minute, sir. Let's move on.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Commissioners report. Have any of our commissioners got anything today? All right. So I've got one point I'd like to touch on. I learned a new term over the past couple months, and it's called refund gasoline. It is basically the gasoline equivalent of off-road diesel. And with gas prices the way that they are, it's something that I think could be very beneficial to commercial fishermen and charter boats as well. I've asked Joe to kind of take a look into it and help me out with it, and we've got a couple of our legislators looking into it. The process is already there; it's in place, but at this point, it's fairly inefficient and kind of inaccessible. So we're gonna, over the next couple months, hopefully try to find a way to make this more accessible to our fishermen out there.
Yeah, I talked with several legislators last week about it up there, and we talked about whether or not what we could do and couldn't. Some of them were understood what we were talking about, some did not, and so they're looking at it too. And so I've asked them to go back in and let's find out what it does. Would it affect the agency in any way? You know what it would do. We do get an off-road fuel tax, and the question was, is that part of the off-road fuel tax that we get? I don't know. And we're trying to find out what it is, but we are looking into it. And it's something like a company has to apply to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they apply to do it, they have to advertise it that they're doing it. And so I asked the question. The first thing out of my mouth was, well, why not? Why wouldn't everybody at the fuel docks on the water do it?
Mm-hmm.
And they said they may be doing it, they're just not advertising.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, and we're looking into it though.
Well, that's part of that inaccessible part. You know, there's just not a lot of information out there, and a lot of people don't. I didn't know it existed 3 months ago, but hopefully we can get something put together. Lord knows we need help with these gas prices right now. Thank you for giving me a few minutes on that. We will move on to Marine Patrol. Chief?
Good morning. How's everybody today? Good, good. Looking at the June report of citations, there are a good many citations there, but you know, me just looking into it historically, compliance is up, folks. I mean, people are getting the message and they're trying to do right. It looks to me, just looking at reports every month. Nothing really jumps out at me. We did check over 2,400 contacts for the month of June. So that's a lot of people checked for the amount of citations that we write. One fatality, unfortunately, a man drowned. This month, I hate to bring those up. I like the ones when everybody's playing right and no one passes away from any type of waterborne incident. But other than that, unfortunately, I will field any questions you have on any of these citations that I can.
I'd just like to say one thing, and I may have missed it. I was doing something else, but the month of the weekend of 4th of July, we had quite a few stops in Snapper.
Yes, sir.
And what were we? 100%
100%.
compliant.
Yes, sir.
100% compliant.
And that's what I'm getting at to the point is that people are very compliant, and that's what we strive for.
And
we don't like writing citations. We just want everybody to be compliant, do their best.
And since the start of Snapper season, we had 4. Is that right?
Yes, sir. 4. Matter of fact, it was 4 no tails and scales,
Yeah.
and maybe 1 possession of undersized snapper. So, by far, one of the best starters we've had.
Well, just to get what I'm trying to get at with this for everybody, it's how great that the tails and scales works, and how great our law enforcement is about enforcing it and looking at it. And we do we do over 10%. And that is about double what anybody else does in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, sir. We're at 11.5 right now.
And that's about over double what most everybody else does as far as the amount of checks that we do.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Wow, that's great.
Now, Chief, what are most of the shrimping violations for?
The shrimping violations?
Yes.
Well, there's not many, as you can tell. But just, I haven't delved into that, Commissioner. Let me look at it a little bit more, but if I was a betting man, it would be in I think one's a live bait citation and all that stuff. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
all right, so if you guys are ready for the no wake zone presentation, I will have Deputy Chief Jex come up and we'll run it by you.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
Deputy Chief.
Good morning, everybody. It's a small presentation this month for our no wake proposal for Fort Bayou and surrounding areas. It's divided into 4 different legs. The first being right at the mouth. That first leg is some 2,000 feet long. They have two smaller legs, leg 2 and leg 3, that are specific to the Marina Cantina area. That new restaurant, or fairly new restaurant, they have marine events there, and they bring in a lot of customers, a lot of boaters. And then the fourth leg is just an extension of the already existing state no wake zone that exists around the bridge and the boat ramp that's underneath the bridge. Effects to boaters. So leg 1, I'll go back to the map in a minute, but leg 1, vessels traveling from the proposed coordinates will be at idle speed for nearly 5 minutes, 4 minutes 57 seconds. And in the summertime heat, that is a long time to be at idle. Leg 2 and leg 3, those two are the smallest legs, and they are specific to the Marina Cantina area. Vessels will be traveling from the proposed coordinates on leg 2 for 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And leg 3, vessels will be traveling from the proposed coordinates at idle speed for 1 minute and 33 seconds. And I believe that's the main intent of this no wake zone, is right around the Marina Cantina restaurant and boaters near the houses. And leg 4 by the bridge and the already existing boat ramp, they will be at idle speed for 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Special considerations. Leg 1, due to the length of the requested zone, as I said, it's some 2,000 feet long, its proximity to open water traffic and environmental conditions, and width of the bayou. At its narrowest point, it's 400 feet across there. So it's more than, if you're in the middle of the bayou, you're more than double the state's recommended for wake mitigation. Legs 2 and 3, there's a typo there. Legs 2 and 3, due to high traffic in the area and proximity to multiple residents, it's recommended. And leg 4 will only be an extension of the state required no wake zone due to the public boat ramp, and it's recommended. We do not recommend, the Office of Marine Patrol did not recommend leg 1. So staff's recommendation, the Office of Marine Patrol recommends the establishment of the no wake zone for the 3 specified locations based on normal operation and vessel speed in relation to the public access areas in which people fish, boat, and socialize. Any questions? So there are a few restaurants. There's Aunt Jenny's Catfish House that's right there. There's a small pier where there's several boats that dock on the south end of that bridge. I'm assuming that's why they included leg 4. And it's, like I said, it's already a no wake zone. They're just asking to extend it past that area where those boats are tied up. Yes, sir. It's right under the bridge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My mic turned on. All
Like I
that's all
said,
I've got
I
to say
think the
on
main
that.
objective was the legs 2 and 3 nearest the Marina Cantina restaurant. Those bayous are very tight in there, and the events that they're bringing boaters to their restaurant for, there's a lot of traffic in and out of those bayous near those homes.
Yeah. Y'all got anything?
I've dove off into this one more than I really wanted to be honest with you. But I would agree with what the recommendation is. The number 1 is just too much, too long, and then you're only encompassing some of the residential property, and you have all that other property that you wouldn't encompass. So 2, 3, and 4 makes the most sense for this situation.
So as you're coming from open water in the bay and you make that bend into the mouth of Fort Bayou, when you're coming down to meet that no wake zone, you're creating more of a wake problem in coming down to meet that no wake zone in that area.
Yeah. Personally, my feelings on it are 2 and 3. That looks pretty tight. There's obviously going to be a lot of people getting on and off of boats in there. I'd be in favor of recommending 2 and 3, not necessarily 4.
Sir, if I could, why don't, if y'all would look at 2 and 3, as you said, and then let us continue to look at 4 and see what we think about it. How about that? Would that be
Tweak
okay?
that a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve 2 and 3 and table 4. Is that what we're saying here? Yeah, we'll continue to dig into that one a little bit.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, sounds good. Let's see. Coastal Resources, Miss Willa, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are y'all? I have a really quick presentation just on our numbers for the first 6 months of this year. We report to NOAA every 6 months our number of activities and actions that we've taken, consistency determinations we've made. So I like to bring those numbers once we put them together and show to the commission what the total number of what we do. You see so little of what we do get presented here. As you can see here, we had a total of 467 actions. 394 of those were either regulated actions at the state level or at the federal level requiring that coastal zone consistency determination. We had between reviews of projects that are sent in through the mail to us just to answer whether they need a permit or not, and pre-application meetings, we had 56 of those, and we had a total of 17 violations reported. I know that you are concerned about violations, so I wanted to break that number down just a little bit. 11 of that 17 were not violations when staff got out and looked at the site. 4 were slight violations where maybe they didn't have silt fencing up to control fill that they had brought in to upland areas. So they were corrected by the property owner just by putting up silt fencing. And 2 of those were actually projects where people had started building structures without a permit, and we were able to stop the work, get it permitted correctly, didn't require any restoration, and the director was able to approve those on a after the fact basis. They qualified for general permits. So I just put up the first half of the last 4 years just so you can see the numbers. Obviously we had a drop there in 2020, but mainly we've remained steady. We came up quite a bit last year and we're almost at the same amount this year. We did go down a bit in number of actual regulated activities, but we went back up in numbers of reviews and pre-application meetings. And then of course, as you can see in our reported violations that we investigated, but not necessarily the number of actual violations, it didn't really go up. And so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Yes, sir. That's just our bulk reporting. So that's why I went through and looked at each one to see, was it actually a violation? How did it get resolved? Right. And again, even those where they had started work qualified for a general permit. So it wasn't, a huge project. They just didn't know that they needed a permit for whatever reason.
So the outreach, I've seen a few of the things that we talked about putting out, reminding people. It's good to see that getting out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Finance and Administration.
Morning, Director, Commissioners Legal. I'm Leslie Brewer, CFO. I'll be presenting the financials for our year end of June 30th. At the end of June, our state revenue was 5.7 million. Our total revenue was 53.2. Our net income for the state was at a negative 871. However, we'll get our appropriations probably September to cover that deficit. And then our total revenue for the agency, or net income rather, is 23 million. And that left us with 76.2 of our budget remaining for this operating budget, and then Tidelands had 42.3 remaining. Anyone have any questions?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Charmaine?
Good morning, Commissioners, Director Spraggins, Ms. Chestnut. The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources was mentioned 14 times in local, state, and national media since the June MACMR meeting. News items included Go Mesa projects announced by Governor Reeves, legislative changes with derelict vessels beginning July 1st, the USDA relief grant applications opening July 1st, and boat and water safety classes offered by the Office of Marine Patrol. Marine Patrol participated in the Fire Academy for Kids with the Biloxi Fire Department, as well as the Stay Safe and Play at the Children's Park in Ocean Springs. Both Marine Patrol and National Heritage Area took part in Paddle the Bay at Henderson Point Park. Sierra Ortiz with the Office of Coastal Resources Management gave presentations at both USM Gulf Coast Research Labs Island Adventure Camps on June 21st and July 5th. The Office of Marine Fisheries Finfish Bureaus Trevor Moncrief and Megan Fleming each gave a presentation to GCRL's Angler Camps on June 28th and July 13th, respectively. Megan also presented to the Viking Village Summer Camp at Bayview Elementary on June 21st. Madison Parker and the Shellfish Bureau gave a second presentation on July 14th to the children attending the Humane Society's Club Paw Summer Day Camp. Michael Lee at the Lyman Aquaculture Hatchery assisted the city of D'Iberville with the Mississippi Bass Federation Fishing Tournament. And the Mississippi Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo was held July 1st through the 4th, and the agency was on hand each day at the fishing rodeo, distributing our rules and regulations publication, fish ruler stickers, fish posters, and other informational pieces to the public.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
A lot going on in July. Here's what everybody wants to hear about.
All right. I don't have a presentation for y'all today. Staff have been working diligently to close out all the expired trips and get everything together, run the analysis. And right now we're sitting at 81,400 pounds of harvest for the first portion of the season, and that's 53.7% of our ACL. So there's still about 70,000 pounds left. We attribute this a little bit lower than what we've seen in the last couple of years. As we talked about earlier, gas prices had a lot to do with it. The first week we saw proportional effort to what we've seen in the last few years, with about 20 to 30,000 pounds harvested. It really dropped off in the second weekend and everything after that. So we've been pretty much on a similar trajectory every weekend. We really didn't see a spike in July 4th in participation. So I think folks are it's hitting them hard in the water a little bit. So we're just kind of not seeing as much effort. Internal discussions we had about the reopening date. We looked through in the past and kind of how we've projected everything out. We're looking at August the 12th as the potential reopening date this year, and we expect that'll get us to Labor Day, and if effort stays low, it could extend beyond that, similar to last year. And I'll take any questions y'all have.
Do you have any idea when we'll verify that reopening date?
Well, it'll be the director's ultimate decision.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, what I'm going to do is staff has to give me their 100% recommendation. We talked about it. They wanted to keep it closed for about a month. And so this will be a month if we do that, because we closed on the 10th of July. And so and it's an effort to, to two things: for the fish to take all the effort off the fish for a little bit and give them a little break and let them start schooling back together and do what they need to do. So we'll probably look at that. I think it's going to be pretty firm, and I don't have a problem if the staff doesn't, and it's up to y'all. If you tell me that the 12th is a good day, we'll open the 12th. That's fine with me. I don't care. I just want to get it open. I'd like to get it out as quick as possible so we can let people know, especially if we got a charters or anything else. And also, another thing while we're on this, the grouper, is it grouper, I guess? Which one is not going to open?
Amberjack.
Amberjack's not going to open on the 1st of August. It's probably going to be the 1st of September. So that way, the situation, hopefully we'll have snapper still, and we'll be able to fish snapper and amberjack at the same time in the same, and that'll help for the, especially ones going out because they can catch more fish. And so that's just something that we're looking at. But unless y'all have a problem, Rick or Tracy or Rick or Matt or Trevor, we'll just say August the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that sounds great. That gives folks something to plan on.
Is there do we know why they moved it from August 1 to September, the amberjack?
Trevor, you can talk a whole lot more about that.
Yeah, so the most recent assessment for amberjack, it hadn't responded to any of the management changes that have occurred in the past. If you think about the drops in bag limit, the size limit, the season changes, the fishing year changes, there hasn't been a response, and there's been low recruitment in that fishery for years on end now. And it's to the point where action needs to be taken again. And so deliberations in the council centered around they have shifted around shifts in bag limit in the past, but really they centered in on drops in the season length. And one of the things we were proponents of is trying to keep that season length within a single wave of how the harvest is estimated. And that pushes it from an August 1st start date to September 1st to October 31st. And really it's the next best stepwise progression to see if we can mitigate additional mortality on the fishery. And so they proposed an emergency rule, and we're waiting on that notification to come from NOAA, and we'll be able to have it solid then. But the council did pass an emergency rule shifting the season to that date, and then it'll have to be reevaluated after 180 days when the emergency rule times out, and they'll have to deliberate on what the next year's season will be.
Wow, thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, they, and matter of fact, it hadn't been signed by the secretary yet, has it?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, so it has to be signed by the secretary. If not, does it revert back?
Well, if nothing goes through, then it's status quo. It would open up August 1st. So I would imagine we're going to be seeing something from the agency within a couple weeks. We would have to. So.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions? Thank you, Trevor. All right. So we're going to move on to other business, and we're going to take care of what we missed at the beginning of the day. We will hold our election for officers now. Every year we elect officers. We start the elections with chairman and then go to the vice chair. So at this point, I would like to ask, are there any nominations for chairman? Somebody got to nominate somebody.
One of you three got to nominate one of them.
All right.
I need a second.
Do we, let's see. Are there any other nominations for chairman? Or no, we got to do the motion on that first, right? Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at a piece of paper trying to figure this out. All right.
Yeah, go ahead and close that
All right.
motion.
So can we make a motion to nominate me as chairman?
I'll make a motion to nominate Ronnie as chairman.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other nominations for chairman? So we don't need a motion on that, right, Sandy, if there are no other
Right.
nominations?
Yes.
All in favor? Yeah.
Is there, wait, you got to close the
Oh, we're still on
nominations.
the, all right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Other nominations for chairman, we do not have any.
None.
Is there a motion to close the nominations? I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We got that figured out. Now let's do vice chair. I'd like to nominate Commissioner Roberts as vice chair.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair? None. Is it? I'll make the motion to close the nominations.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That was a lot more painful than I thought it was going to be, but we got through it. So moving on to, do we have any other business? Nothing else? All right. Well, we'll move into our public comments. Mr. Ramsey, I'm sorry we missed you earlier. We'll get you in here now. We'll have Mr. Gilbert Ramsey with a comment on special use.
Good morning. Well, I just recently started a LLC. It's called Follow Me LLC, and it's international market. But right now I'm here to discuss a state introduction for navigational access and accessibility. I went to Harris County Board of Supervisors and introduced it for a special use permit, Southern National Forest. The Southern National Forest location, CC Road and White Plains Road, District 1. That location I used to enjoy when I was a child. And I've been in the community since '67. And they have a park down the river y'all initiated at Riverside Park in D'Iberville. We put a handicap accessibility location there for disabled people. And Mississippi Land Trust offered me 200 acres there to do outreaches. So I'm telling you this for a reason. We're going further upriver to enjoy coming downriver for our patrons. Okay? I have a BP contract, Enhancement Recreation. And I have a veteran bottled water company I'm launching. Donating houses, caskets, and dormitories to the proceeds. I'm introducing this Black City Council in a few minutes with Mr. Development and Rehabilitation Service and everybody. Boys and Girls Club and everybody. I'm coming out of the woods, for in other words. I'm helping us out. New industries, new markets, new economic development options. I'm telling you for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. I've been working on it since 2013. Mr. Chris Engel, Mr. Development Authority, here I come. Transportation Summit Initiative, Gulf Coast Coliseum. I love you, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Joe, I'd like to be introduced to General Hopkins and General John Hammond. General Jeff Hammond is waiting on me at University of Southern Mississippi to handle this appropriately. Thank you much for your assistance and direction. Have a blessed day.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second that, all in favor?
Aye.